Welcome to FRCMedia News for Thursday, September 3rd, 2020. I'm Keith Tebow. This week, the Fall River City Council rejects Mayor Paul Coogan's fiscal 2021 budget. So what happens next? We see how city residents voted in the state primary. Teachers and staff return to work in the Fall River Public Schools. We hear from teachers and the superintendent. Those who have fallen victim to substance abuse are remembered at a memorial at Government Center. And we take a look at a local tourist attraction to see how they have fared through the pandemic. All that and more coming up. Following a marathon session Monday night, the Fall River City Council voted 5-4 to reject Mayor Paul Coogan's fiscal 2021 budget, citing the need for more time to seek alternatives to avoid using one-time money to fill budget holes. With action needed to continue to fund city government past August 31st, the council voted 6-3 to appropriate $40.4 million to pay the city's expenses through the month of September. Now, some councilors felt rushed to approve a spending plan. At only one meeting, Councilor Linda Pereira said she understood the concern, but delaying passage would not change the fact that there is only so much money available to spend after the revenue declines caused by COVID-19.
We look at planning, you need more people. Everybody needs more people. Where else are you going to cut from and still have the public safety that you want? There's nowhere else to cut from. We have constantly, gotten rid of people and laid off people, but yet we sit here and we say, oh, well, this is a vacant position. Can we fill that for this position? Can we fill somebody for the assessor's office? That's going to bring us money. Can we give planning somebody else? Can we give, and there's just no more money. You have litter. Can we add somebody to that? You can't. The money's just not there. This is unprecedented. I will vote yes on this budget, but to go again and do a 1/12, where else are you going to get the money? Unless we hit the lottery, which I don't think we're going to hit. But you wanted police and fire, we have police and fire. You show me where we can cut money without creating hardships in all the departments with everybody.
Others felt that the administration's use of $2 million from the city's stabilization account creates a structural deficit that will hamstring the city when it comes to formulating a budget for next year. City Councilor Sean Kadim said now is the time to make reductions to the spending plan, not next year when cuts will likely be deeper and impact essential services such as police and fire.
We don't have the money, but what we're doing is we're adding positions to public safety, and we're going to approve this budget to create a structural deficit so that next year we do what? If we can't find the money this year, how are we finding it next year when it's worse? So we're going to lay everybody off? So if we're going to lay people off, let's have the conversation now and let's lay people off. To give us some more time to actually go through this and say, okay, where are we going to make the cuts? This is not the way to do this. Just because we can't find money doesn't mean we support something that we can't afford. We've been here before. This is why Fall River is in the position that it's in. Because we have never, from a fiscal standpoint, taken a stand. All I heard, you know what I heard today? New Bedford's doing this, Taunton's doing this, Brockton's doing this. Great, wonderful. I don't care about Brockton. I don't care about New Bedford. I don't care about Taunton. I don't care about what they're doing. You know what I care about? I care about the city of Fall River. Okay? I've said this before, that we need to stop with the hand out. We need to start paving the way for ourselves from a fiscal standpoint.
So what's next for the spending plan? Mayor Paul Coogan says he plans to meet with the 5 councilors who voted to reject the budget to seek ideas on changes and secure their support.
We bring the councilors in before, obviously, Monday night, and we have our meetings and we ask them questions. What are you concerned about? Where are we going with this? And a few, I want to say one specifically said he was not interested in voting for the budget. He was a definite no, but they did not give us a heads up on some of the items that concern them. Going forward, we made it clear, and we've tried to keep everybody on the same plateau. If we can just get an idea of what your concerns are, if we can address them, fine. If we can't, then you have to vote your conscience. But that's what we need. And again, we're doing that now. We brought them in before. It usually works out. It's usually a very open meeting where people say what they believe and they kick around ideas. And if we need to get more out of them before a meeting, then that's what we're going to ask for.
The mayor went on to say he has no intention of forcing layoffs to balance the budget. He's still hopeful the federal government will allow the city to use money allocated for COVID-19 to make up for any shortfall.
We're in September 1, and we're talking about a budget that should have been done back in May. It's all related to COVID. It's thrown everything out of kilter. I did read the transcript of the Treasury Secretary, I think his name is Mnuchin, yesterday when he testified before Congress. And his answers were verbatim what we've been saying for the last 2 months. Give us the increased flexibility to hire police, fire, EMS, city workers. And he, speaking obviously for the Trump administration for the first time, said we're in favor of increasing the flexibility. So I'm hoping now that on record we have the Treasury Secretary saying we're going to loosen things up, then we can maybe get something done, which will then free that money up, which will allow us going into 22 to put our money back in our stabilization fund, maybe prepay some stuff going into 22 so we can get a jump on that budget, and maybe we won't get as severe a whack as we think.
The new school year began Tuesday for teachers and staff at the Fall River Public Schools, with students not slated to return until September 16th. During the opening day convocation, School Superintendent Dr. Matthew Malone said everyone involved with educating Fall River children will need to work together to ensure no child is left behind.
This ain't easy. Ain't ever going to be easy this year. We're starting in the hybrid model. We got to be flexible. We got to be nimble. We got to be prepared to shift and toggle depending on what happens with the pandemic, depending on what the science says. But we will be ready, and you will be ready, because we're all going to learn new things. And you have to be comfortable with learning new things. It's okay. You don't know how to do all the Google Classroom Suite stuff. I don't know it either. But guess what? I'm learning it too. We're all going to learn together. We're going to get this right. Hey, we're going to fall on our face. We're going to make mistakes. We're going to screw up. But we're going to get up, and we're going to get back at it, and we're going to continue to move forward. It's all we can do. We will prepare for the new operational protocols that we need to have in place. We'll do it safely. Masks, PPE, hand washing, all the components to mitigate risk, the proven mitigation factors that we're putting into our schools, putting them in place. We're going to learn all that this week. We're going to spend 9 days getting ready for what the hybrid model is all about. And on the 16th, when we open on the first day, we're going to open remotely, give everyone practice for how to connect. What are the expectations that we have for everyone? Connect. Make those relationships matter and start the year strongly. Understanding we've had tremendous learning loss. Student achievement gaps have exacerbated. It's up to us now to close them. I'm not asking you to fix the world in a day. This is a long, slow process. But the first thing you do is turn on that computer and you can say hello to a kid. You can make that kid feel welcome. You can make them feel loved. And when you see them face to face, they can look in your eyes and go, this person cares about me. No matter what mode we're in person, remote, your heart has to shine through in everything that you do.
Rebecca Cusick, president of the Fall River Educators Association, said her members are committed to serving all students.
Hi everyone, Rebecca Cusick here from the Fall River Educators Association. Welcome to the 2020-2021 school year. I know you're starting this year off with a lot of anxiety and a lot of concern. and we share those concerns. But I want you to know that a lot of people worked hard all summer long to alleviate some of the issues that you have brought forward. We hear you and we see you, and the work is not done. We are committed to following through to ensure that safety is a #1 priority and the quality of instruction is not sacrificed because the year does not look like normal. Our strength is in our people, and if we all row in the same direction, we can do this and get this done. Good luck. Peace.
The State Department of Unemployment Assistance has announced that those who continue to be unemployed may have or will soon begin receiving an extra $300 a week in assistance from the federal government. Many workers will see reimbursements covering the first 3 weeks of August. Money for subsequent weeks will be distributed at a later date. The initial $600 per week unemployment assistance boost from Washington expired on July 31st. We'll have more FRC Media News right after this.
Here are some job descriptions on the latest hot jobs list from the MassHire Fall River Career Center. Meter Service Technician. Liberty Utilities, located at 36 5th Street, is looking for a full-time meter service technician responsible for performing necessary work to maintain gas service to customers in a safe and efficient manner. Job number 139-406-67. Clinician. Bay Cove Human Services has an immediate need for a full-time clinician in the Fall River area to provide services to adults who face lifelong challenges of developmental disabilities, mental illness, and drug and alcohol dependency. Job number 139-44063. General Manager, Domino's Pizza, located at 390 Rhode Island Avenue, is seeking a full-time general manager responsible for store shift operations, customer relations, and inventory control. Job number 139-47050. Southcoast Health, located at 363 Highland Avenue, is in need of the following full and part-time positions. Speech pathologist, job number 139-41797. Registered nurse, job number 139-41815. Fall River Public School Department, located at 417 Rock Street, also is in need of the following full and part-time positions. Portuguese teacher, job number 139-43322. Substitute teacher, job number 139-43075. For more information on these or other positions, visit MassHire JobQuest at jobquest.dcs.eol.mass.gov or call the MassHire Fall River Career Center at 508-730-5000.
Welcome back. Votes are still being tallied across the Commonwealth following Tuesday's state primary. So how did Fall River vote? In the Democratic primary, even though Senator Edward Markey won statewide, Congressman Joseph Kennedy carried Fall River. Jake Auchincloss, currently in the lead in the Massachusetts 4th Congressional District race, also carried Fall River. The remaining candidates on the Democratic primary ballot were unopposed. In the Republican primary, Kevin O'Connor won both statewide and in Fall River in the U.S. Senate race. In the Massachusetts 4th Congressional District, David Rosa carried Fall River, while Julie Hall won district-wide. Helen Brady, Evan Gendro, and Nancy C. Stanton Cross were unopposed. Back to the Democratic primary, Senator Ed Markey survived the challenge from Congressman Joseph Kennedy to win the Democratic primary for U.S. Senate. During his victory speech, Markey made it known that the youth of the country will be looked upon to steer the nation into a new, progressive direction.
Justice is at the heart of the agenda that we have to pass in 2021. Justice for all Americans, black and white, Latinx and Asian, and Native American and Indigenous, young and old, rich and poor, abled and disabled, gay, straight, trans, and genderqueer. This will be my agenda in the United States Senate. Tonight is more than just a celebration of a movement. It is a reaffirmation of the need to have a movement, a progressive movement of young people demanding radical change, demanding justice, a movement giving voice and power to young people when for far too long they were ignored. It's a movement fueled by young people who are not afraid to raise their voices or make enemies. Tonight's victory is a tribute to those young people and to their vision. They will save us if we trust them. We must look to them, listen to them. We must follow these young people. They want justice in our country and in our world.
During his concession speech, Congressman Kennedy made it known that his run for the Senate was not done in vain.
We built a campaign for the people that our politics often locks out and leaves behind. We built a campaign for Lawrence and for Chelsea and for New Bedford, for Roxbury and Brockton and Springfield, for Lowell and for Worcester. We built a campaign for working folks of every color and creed who carry the economic injustice of this country on their backs, who don't lie awake at night worried about political labels or litmus tests, but about the child care bill that is due on Friday, about the paycheck that is still a week away, about the impossible balancing act of keeping the people that you love healthy and safe and sheltered and fed in America today. We built a campaign for those who do not have the luxury of accepting the status quo or the privilege of being patient for just a few more years.
Senator Markey will face Republican challenger Kevin O'Connor in the November 3rd election. August 31st has been designated as International Overdose Awareness Day. Denise Pumagwaye spoke with organizers of Recover Fall River, who sponsored an event seeking to remove the stigma of substance abuse by humanizing local overdose victims.
This year, due to the COVID crisis, we had to do things quite differently, so we've created today a temporary memorial. So we are also offering overdose prevention services from Seven Hills, so people are able to get Narcan here and be trained on how to use Narcan. And we also have Joan Paquette from Gone Too Soon here, and she offers a support group for loved ones who have lost a family member due to addiction.
I lost my brother Rob February 12, 2017, and Rob was someone really special. And one of the things about this memorial, so it's a bunch of faces here, and some people may look at this as just individuals who died from an overdose, but for us, there's someone special, and we want to break the stigma that's really attached to this. So, knowing that we're not alone, so having individuals come here and being able to see their loved one's photo, say a little prayer, and just know that they're remembered, and letting the community know that Recover Fall River stands by them and that we're honoring their loved one. That's really important. Speaking of Gone Too Soon and having that grief support group, and knowing that there's a support group out there that's available for losing a loved one to a substance use disorder is significantly important, because it shows individuals that there's people out there going through the same thing as them, that they can relate to the same thing.
One of our primary goals is to break down the stigma. The fact is, overdose is the leading cause of death, not only in Fall River, it's actually higher in Fall River, but it's the leading cause of death in the United States, yet no one can talk about it. And we're hoping that, we have an increasing number of family members willing to step out of the shadow and participate, and we hope that that continues to grow, because addiction is a disease, it's a brain disease, it's a progressive brain disease, and people should not be ashamed of themselves or their loved ones if they have this disease.
It's not just a time to remember, it's also a time to act. And when I say time to act, it's about talking about what's going on in our community. It's about sharing stories about our loved ones and letting it be known that, there's someone.
As we come to the unofficial end of summer on Labor Day, we know that local tourism has not been immune from being negatively impacted by the pandemic. FRCmedia correspondent Brian Fraga spoke with a representative from the Lizzie Borden Bed and Breakfast and Museum on their experiences this summer.
We literally we can only have half capacity in the house at all times. We had to cut our tours in half. We had to cut the amount of people that can come in half. We've had to call a lot of people, a lot of cancellations, tons of cancellations, but that's what we had to do. Only because we didn't know what was going to happen, so the booking system was still running, but we had to call a lot of people in the months. Once we opened back up, we had to call a lot of people in those months and get them to move reservations or cancel because we could only have so many people in the house. And it's been an extreme challenge, to say the least. We're getting a lot of local people and a lot of people within like a 300-mile radius, but not beyond that. We used to get people, from Cali, from all over the place that used to come all the time. But, people aren't traveling. So we're getting a lot of local traffic, and people, I think they're just stir crazy just from being in their houses and stuff. So we're getting more local people than We did change our tour system. It used to be able to just walk up, but now we have to do we're doing our best to keep everything, so the distancing thing. So you have to buy your tickets online. You have to, you can't just walk into the gift shop and purchase tickets. You have to buy them online. Like you said, like you saw, we have to check everyone's temperature when they first walk in. We're doing everything we're mandated to do, masks, all that stuff. But yeah, once this is over, hopefully we'll go back to the new normal.
We have spent a lot of time sharing the news of local organizations lending a hand to those in need during the pandemic. This week, Denise Pumugwaye spotlights a food service provided by the First Baptist Church.
Tell me a little bit about your services, First Baptist Church.
This is a branch supper that we provide every Tuesday between 4 and 5:30. It used to be a community lunch, but of course COVID came along and made it impossible for us to serve people inside the church. So instead what we've been doing is bagging up dinners, I should say, and people come to the side door and just pick them up.
What's the traffic of people? How many numbers do you have per week?
COVID, we had actually dropped down to 60 bagged dinners that we were providing. And last week, we gave away all 60 bags. We ran out to the store, bought some tuna fish and made up some tuna fish sandwiches and a few other things and gave those all away. And so I think we actually had 75 last week. So we're happy to ramp up as many people as need food. We're happy to feed them.
I mean, in order to provide the meals, are you collaborating with another organization, or is it members of your community, of your church?
We do have some grants in this time of COVID from the United Way, the YMCA, I think have kicked in some money. Some anonymous donors have kicked in money to help us, particularly in this time of COVID. But we've also had, Bank 5, I think, has given us money over the years. So we do get community donations of cash. And we also do have community providers from places like St. Anne's Hospital, and also other local churches who will make up some of the meals and provide them. We're always distributing the meals, but we're not always the one who are preparing them.
Are you guys taking maybe volunteers, or how is that working?
So if people want to donate money, the easiest thing to do is to call our church office, and they can arrange to send us a check. If people are interested in taking a turn in helping to provide meals, they can also call our church office. And of course, if people are hungry, they should just come to the Pine Street door of our church on North Main Street in Pine. And between 4 and 5:30 on Tuesdays, and we're happy to feed you.
Thank you for considering a homeless pet today. I hope you enjoy what you're about to see, and as always, please feel free to contact the shelter before coming down to make sure that the pets you're viewing are still available for adoption. We can be reached at 508-677-9154.
Today we have Avery. Avery is a husky. She is a little over 3 years old. She can be a little timid with new people, and even people she knows, she's still a little standoffish, but once she's more comfortable, she's very sweet. She doesn't seem too crazy about toys. She much prefers to be with people. As you can see, Avery is a little thin, so we're looking to fill her out a little more. As you might have noticed, Avery's right eye is a little bigger than the other one. Our vet has just looked at that, and she would like to have it tested to see if possibly Avery has glaucoma, or maybe she was just born that way. For anyone who's not too familiar with huskies, they are a working dog. They were bred to go all day and then keep going after that. If you have some experience with huskies and you think Avery would fit your family, we can give you a call to come on in over at 300 Linwood Street and meet Avery.
Next we're going to meet Zeus. He's a 6-year-old cat who's very laid back. He might come off as grumpy or not very friendly, but he is actually very sweet. He just likes to relax and kind of hang around. He was an owner surrendered. They could no longer take care of him, but now he's here, and most of his day consists of napping and occasional petting. But he is a very sweet cat. If you're looking for someone to lay back with, but who still likes attention, then Zeus is the cat for you. And if you like to meet him, you can come down to Forever Paws Animal Shelter on 300 Linwood Street, and he would like to meet you, but he might be asleep.
That's all for this edition of FRC Media News. Please visit our website, frmedia.org, for all the latest news and information, as well as updates on our Channel 95 program schedule. This program airs Thursdays at 6 p.m. and Fridays at 5:30 p.m. We will leave you this week with more from this week's International Overdose Awareness event held in downtown Fall River. For all of us here at FRC Media News, I'm Keith Tebow. Have a fantastic Labor Day weekend, and we'll see you next Thursday.